A good evening to you all and welcome to the English News Bulletin. We trust you've had a fulfilling week and hope you are embracing the joy of Friday. For this edition, let's begin with the headlines. In a strategic move aimed at accelerating investments to realize the objectives of the National Strategy for Transformation, the government has unveiled a proposal for a budget of 5,690.1 billion Rwandan francs for the upcoming fiscal year of 2024-2025, increase of 11.2% from the previous budget. Over 400 students from the East African Christian College in Masaka, Kicukiro have completed their studies. Most graduates specialized in theology and are eager to apply their knowledge to improve the lives of those they lead. My name is Olive Nete. Welcome to the English News in Details. In a strategic move aimed at accelerating investments to realize the objectives of the National Strategy for Transformation, the government has unveiled a proposal for a budget of 5,690.1 billion Rwandan francs for the upcoming fiscal year 2024-2025, an increase of 11.2% from the previous budget. The announcement was made by Dr. Uziel Ndagijimana, the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, on afternoon as he presented the proposed 2024-2025 national budget to the Parliament on behalf of the government. The budget is intended to sustain the economic growth, bolster climate change mitigation efforts, and fund crucial investment in agriculture, private sector development, youth employment, energy, ICT, transport, and financial development. It will also speed up the implementation of key projects in priority sectors such as health, education, disaster management, social protection, governance, justice, and reconciliation, among others. Addressing parliamentarians, the minister said that the 2024-2025 budget proposal reflects Rwanda's economic resilience in the face of external shocks. He stressed that the government remains committed to prioritizing spending, making strategic investments to achieve the NST1 objectives and maintain economic stability. As noted, the total estimated resources for the fiscal year 2024-2025 are projected at 5,690.1 billion Rwandan francs, and this comprises domestic revenues of 3,414.4 billion Rwandan francs with 2,970.4 billion Rwandan francs expected from tax revenues and 444.0 billion Rwandan francs from other revenues. External grants are estimated at 725.3 billion Rwandan francs, while external loans are projected to amount 1,318.1 billion Rwandan francs. Domestic borrowing and financial assets drawdown will total 232.3 billion Rwandan francs. Now to security matters, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Vincent Biruta, emphasizes that Africa's security issues must be addressed from the root causes rather than focusing on the consequences. He reiterated this point on Friday at the closure of the National Security Symposium that has been taking place in Kigali. We have more on the story. On the final day of the three-day National Security Symposium that has been taking place in Kigali, discussions centered on examining the challenges and potential solutions to security issues in Africa. One key discussion revisited the roots of these security problems, their consequences, and strategies for resolution. Rwanda's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Vincent Biruta, highlighted that insecurity on the continent primarily stems from poor governance and the failure to address root causes.
It is my hope that our diverse perspectives will inform our course of action to find practical and sustainable solutions to the issues at hand. Transforming ideas into actions is always the biggest challenge we face. There are no miracle drugs to a given crisis or problem. Rather, we must adopt a multidimensional and holistic approach at solving them, focusing on addressing the root causes before the consequences.
Mali's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Abdoulaye Diop, also emphasized that the main roots of Africa's security problems are bad governance, foreign interference, and the lack of cooperation among African countries to find solutions.
We have a problem. When we had issues in the Sahel, when we belong to the G5 Sahel, as I said previously, Rwanda has been the only country to give us $1 million. But Rwanda is not the wealthiest country in Africa. It means that we lack confidence, we lack solidarity. As we are going through these challenges in the Sahel for 10 years, Africa has done a little to help us. So we need to understand, with solidarity, we can, I think, mutualize our effort. So we need to have confidence in ourselves, in our capacity to design policy, to protect ourselves, to protect our continent.
Minister Abdoulaye Diop also stated that seeking solutions to Africa's problems outside the continent often exacerbates its security issues, making them more intractable. Brian Kagoro, a Zimbabwean activist, added that the insecurity in African countries is exploited by major powers to harvest the continent's natural resources. He also emphasized the critical issue of governance.
People have to have a voice, but let me say the Shona proverb that you didn't want to hear. It says, "Mwana singacheme anofira mbereko." The baby that does not cry dies in the mother's, the crib we used to carry babies on the back. The idea in our society was always you must create the safety valves to hear what abaturaje, to hear what wananchi, to hear what abantu want to say. A governance system that creates accountability and responsibility for those that hold public office with consequences.
The three-day conference, organized by the Rwanda Defense Force in collaboration with the University of Rwanda, was attended by security agency representatives from Africa and beyond, researchers, and key security decision-makers. They discussed various topics related to the security sector in Africa and specific countries, focusing on contemporary security challenges and potential solutions. To education matters, over 400 students from East African Christian College in Masaka, Chichukiro have completed their studies. Most graduates specialized in theology and are eager to apply their knowledge to improve the lives of people they lead. We have the details. The graduates include those who have completed Bachelor of Arts degree programs in theology, as well as short courses in Advanced Diploma in Theology. Additionally, some have specialized in education, particularly in children's development education and early childhood education.
First
of all, I will use this knowledge again by serve God fully, and these lessons learned will support us through it all. We studied about theology, but also how to have a good relations with others, and we also look forward to assist Christians so that they can have what they call holistic evangelism.
We now know the Bible well, and that will assist us in preaching well without lies and rumors, since there are some evangelists who just say what they don't even know or understand, but we have gained knowledge and we will use it. Dr. Papias Musafiri Malimba, the principal of the East African Christian College, notes that the majority of the graduates are already employed in various denominations.
Second, EACC graduation marks a significant growth and development as an institution. And today, we graduated more than 400 graduates in 3 different programs. We have around 186 graduate in postgraduate diploma in theology and around 125 in Bachelor of Arts in theology. And we have about 90-something, those who graduated in early child development education. So this graduation is much bigger than the first graduation, because in the first graduation we only graduated a few students in the area of the postgraduate theology, diploma in theology, and also a diploma in child development education. But as you can see the numbers today, we have almost multiplied more than 3 times. So a significant mark of the growth and institution in terms of the student enrollment, in terms of the programs, but also in terms of what we can present as professionals to go and serve the community.
The technical advisor in the Ministry of Education, Engineer Gatabazi Pascal, commended the contribution of the East African Christian College to education in Rwanda.
We have a graduation of about more than 400 people graduating here, either from theology, from people doing management. We saw many professionals in early childhood development. This is key for our development of our nation. So as a government, we see this institution as a very good partner in our socio-economic transformation of our people. So as government, this is a very good occasion to celebrate the achievement, but also to take the challenge to do more.
Graduates from the East African Christian College hold bachelor's degrees. The university's administration reports that the number of this year's graduates is 3 times higher than the last year's. Established by the Anglican Church of Rwanda in 2020, the college has seen significant growth. Now to health matters. The Ministry of Health has initiated a program aimed at educating female gynecologists to bridge the existing gap. Over the next 4 years, the program is projected to expand fourfold. Cedric Ilakoze with the details.
This training program for gynecologists will be carried in the main teaching hospitals of the second level, where there will be 4 doctors in each hospital. The CEO of the Association Gynecologists in Rwanda, Victor Mivumbi, expressed that there was serious shortage of gynecologists in Rwanda. We had only 2 gynecologists at our hospital, and this program will help us to increase the number of our specialists, improving skills and techniques. The Secretary of the State in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Ivan Butera, said that this program will be a key in development of health aspects, and it came at the right time.
Maybe instances where things didn't go very well, I'd like to raise it here so that it becomes clear. When you come for an OB/GYN program and you have maybe a boardroom that is designated to surgery, it shouldn't be that way. It's for everyone. So if you want to give a lecture, give it access to everyone so that they'll be able to use that. Don't disintegrate just one program together. It's very important to integrate it and let it benefit everyone. So I'd like to thank you. What we're doing here will see the impact very soon. Maternal child health and training of workforce is at the center of our priorities. It's an initiative that combines the 2 here, so we are very happy. And thank you, Professor Snyder, for really brainstorming with us how we can make these things happen, and then supporting us to see it happen, and all the other colleagues in the room that on a daily basis push for it to happen. So numbers is one thing, quality is another thing. We expect this program to yield very, very good results. We'll be there to work with you, to support you, and to achieve the results that we want to get to.
Fise Hasinaid said that this program will reduce sexual violence faced by young girls.
How do we train our community health workers? How does the ministry shift policies? How do we work with Parliament to ensure young girls who we know are sexually active can access contraception? We can't deny the fact that our communities see a high rate of gender-based violence and sexual violence. That means young girls need to be protected. So we're going to need to see a lot of community engagement, community health programs to create stronger link between health facilities and communities. But this is an incredibly tremendous step towards every Rwandese woman and girl having the care they need and deserve when and where they need it. And I also think it has the potential to set a new standard for residency program in Rwanda and OB/GYN training around the continent. So a heartfelt congratulations to the Rwandan Ministry of Health, to the Rwandan Society of Obstetrics and Gynecology.
This training program will be held in 10 second-level hospitals, including Rwamagana, Kirehe, Ruhengeri, Nyamata, Kibagabaga, Nyagatare, Kibogora, Gisenyi, Kabgayi, and Byumba. 60 specialist doctors graduate each year. Cedric Rakoze, RTV News.
Thank you, Cedric, for the details. Now, Saturday will mark African Liberation Day, and with the continent's past and current challenges, such occasions are a time to reflect on the choices of all Africans in their efforts to make a better future for everyone. Our colleague Sam Kalisa spoke to Kenya's High Commissioner to Rwanda about it, and this is what she had to say. Take a look.
The Africa Liberation Day, or commonly known as the Africa Day, marks a significant milestone in the continent's journey towards freedom, unity, as well as prosperity. The primary objective of the Africa Liberation Day celebrations is to commemorate struggles and victories that have shaped Africa's history. And to talk about that and much more today, we are joined by the High Commissioner of Kenya to Rwanda, Her Excellency Janet. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Right. As we start off, maybe before we even dive deeper into the Africa Liberation Day or the Africa Day, it's our pleasure having you in the studio as the High Commissioner of Kenya to Rwanda. It's been a few days. How is it so far, if I may? How is Kigali and your work in general in relations to the Rwanda-Kenya partnerships?
Thank you very much. I mean, Kigali has been absolutely amazing. Been here for about a month and a half because, you know, I took a break for a while. I love Kigali. Very organized city. I haven't been to the rest of the parts in Rwanda, and I intend to do that in a very short while. But it's been a pleasure. Very good road network, a very structured way of doing things. I absolutely love it.
Sure. If I may, how can you paint the picture in regards to the relations between Rwanda and Kenya right now?
They are very cordial. We have absolutely cordial relationships that I really want to ride on. I mean, I've been here for, like I said, month and a half, and within that period, we've hosted very many delegations from Kenya. We've hosted our ministers. We've hosted Deputy President who came for Kwibuka. Just last Friday, we had our head of state, His Excellency President Ruto, attending the Africa CEO Forum. So we have very good relations, and I intend to really build on that.
Absolutely see it that way as well. And if we can take it a bit from the box of Rwanda, Kenya, and now to the East African Community Ambassador, a lot has been going on. And in your view, in regards to the security and, you know, particularly in the Eastern DRC, Kenya had a contingent in the country trying to restore peace. In your own view, what is the solution to such matters, and what could be the trigger to bringing peace to Eastern DRC, which I think could be a trigger to more prosperity to the region?
Absolutely. I think that we already have processes that are ongoing. We have the Luanda-led process. We have the Nairobi peace process, and we are banking on that to ultimately solve the Eastern DRC you know, stalemate with Rwanda.
And what's the role of political will towards addressing such matters?
Political goodwill is absolutely necessary to solve, and we've seen all our leaders in the East African community, you know, coming together, trying to, you know, be part of the solution, and I know that will yield fruit in the not so far future.
Sure. Now to the Africa Day or the Africa Liberation Day. Why is it so important to commemorate or celebrate the Africa Day?
The Africa Day, as we know, was born when we had OAU in 1963, 25th of May, which OAU's main objective was to bring, you know, unity to Africa, prosperity, and, you know, Africans working together. I think that is one of the reasons why we should commemorate and celebrate. But more than that, or further than that, we need as Africans to remember our history, where we're coming from, and how that impacts our future. And that's why it's important to celebrate Africa Day today, so that we remember our unity. Yeah. We look at the gains, we look at the struggles, we look at the challenges, and come up with ways to better that going forward.
Right. The African Union named this year the Year of Education, and the theme is Education and Skill Africa for the 21st century. And if you can build of this on this particular theme, considering Africa's colonial history, what should this mean for the Africans in general?
It should mean that we are living in an age where education has really progressed. We have inherited as Africans an education system that is largely seen as colonially inherited.
Yeah.
And we are now at a stage, the 21st century is really grown from where we inherited it from. We started from, religion, and then, just pre-colonial education. And for us as Africans, we need now to structure our education system to be very versatile, so that we actually benefit from it. We are still using education systems that are really looked at as inherited from the Western.
Yeah.
Africa needs an education system that is able to grow their youths or the young people to meet the challenges of the global world.
Right. Could you say our education is far from being African, or designed and curated to solving African challenges, and rather designed to keep us in the colonial era that we've been a lot of years back?
Absolutely. Largely, our education system was and is still structured as a colonial era education system. But it's a good thing that we're seeing a lot of African countries trying to move away from that. For instance, in Kenya, we have our CBC base, which is a system of education that is trying to address those colonial education system challenges. So yes, we are largely still using a system that doesn't work for Africa, and I think the theme for this year is so important, so we can critically assess our education systems as an African continent, and try and tailor that or structure that to meet the needs of.
How urgent should African governments take this?
Very urgently. We should do that as like yesterday, because we have, we should now look at science, technology, mathematics, in an education system that serves Africa in terms of, how are our youths equipped to handle the challenges or the challenges that Africa faces. So I think it's very critically urgent, and I think the theme for this year cannot be more opportunities just at the right time.
Right, and Ambassador, what is your message for young Africans on this occasion to celebrate the Africa Day 2024 as the continent tries to move into the targeted future?
My message to our youth is that they form a huge constituency of the African, demographic pattern. There's a lot to be done in Africa, and we are very dependent on our youths. Let them go out there, let them get the skills, let them learn, let them continue learning, let them learn on STEM system of education, let them have internships, let them get mentors. We need our youths in the current Africa to grow. The other message I have for the youth is let them not forget where we're coming from.
Yeah.
Let them be our young Pan-Africanists. So they carry that spirit ahead with them as they continue to look to deliver to the continent.
Do you think they are facilitated enough to give out their contribution in terms of realizing an Africa that we want?
No, they're not, but and that's one of the things that as an African continent, we need to find solutions to address that, so that our youths are well equipped to serve not only Africa but the world at large. So that's an area that African leaders, the political leaders, and everyone, even parents, should take up to equip our youth to be ready to tackle challenges in Africa.
Absolutely. I do think it's a time to address the challenges that we are creating ourselves that are even blocking the Africa's progress. Recently, when I attended the Africa CEO Forum, the Africa's richest man, Dangote, was highlighting how it's hard to move around African countries, the visa restrictions and all, to the extent he is even asked for bank statements to travel to another African country. And I just brought this example to show how it stands in terms of Africa's integration. Ambassador, in your context and in your perspective, what is missing to realize a real and actual Africa integration? Another example, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement that was signed and ratified by many countries is not fully operational yet. And this is where I started to say we are blocking our own progress. What do you think is really needed to be done by Africans themselves to realize actual progress?
I think African countries and African leaders need to integrate the policies so as to realize the African Continental Trade Agreement objectives, because that hasn't quite been done. Yeah. We have many challenges as Africa. We have, we have civil wars, we have political instability, yeah. And those are things that really hamper integration as an African continent. So we need to really solve our political leadership and governance issues, so that we have an integrated, integrated policies as an African continent that enables trade, enables free movement, and those are some of the issues that I think we should be focusing on going forward.
Are you optimistic that we will get there?
We definitely will get there with African Union and EAC for the East African region. We will, we have South Africa with their own, outfit. We will definitely get there. It might take a bit of time, but we are working on it, and I am very optimistic that we will definitely find solutions to that.
Right, and finally, Ambassador, as we wrap it off, anything else you'd like to tell our viewers concerning mostly the Africa Liberation Day?
Yes, it's amazing and beautiful that we have Africa Liberation Day. My message to Africans is that we know our challenges. We are limited, yeah, in many ways, but we are a rich continent, and we really need to work together as a continent to solve our all the challenges that that Africa faces, and we will ultimately or definitely get there.
Right. Once again, Ambassador, it was a pleasure having you in our Rwanda television studios. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
The story brings us to the end of tonight's bulletin. On behalf of the technical and news production team, we sincerely thank you for being part of our news today. Have a restful weekend. Take care and goodbye.